And okay, so we are recording now. Good, good, good. Okay, so today my guest is Charlie. So welcome to ABC, Charlie. How are we doing?
Hello, mate.
All
Yeah,
good?
not bad, mate. Getting by.
As we are, mate. Now, for you guys, I'm not sure how long you've been in lockdown for. So, how long are you? Have you been in?
So we've been in sort of total lockdown now for a week today.
Oh, okay.
We sort of like from a business side of things. We sort of started to wind down before we was forced to shut, basically. So we wasn't really working that much, and then just over a week ago on Monday evening, we got the notice that we was being forced to shut as a non-essential. So from the Tuesday morning, which is a week ago today, yeah, we've been on total shutdown, lockdown, or whatever you want to call it, quarantine.
I mean, tell us a little bit before you actually locked up. So, from a business standpoint,
Mm-hmm.
what was kind of the feeling in the? So tell everybody what you, if you don't mind, tell us a little bit about your background and what you do.
Yeah, so I'm a tattooist. I've been doing it probably. I was about 19 when I started it, and I'm 32 now, so sort of 13 years-ish, maybe a little bit more. So I've had my own shop for 6 years this June. Currently I've got 3 artists working at the shop full time, but we've had anything up to 5 at a time at certain periods. But yeah, I mean, business-wise, it's been really good for us over the last few years, especially this past year. It's been the best we've had in the 6 years that we've been open. Been really busy. Everyone's been busy as well, which is good. It's not often you get that in a shop. You usually get someone or a couple of people that are quiet, and then others that sort of do better. But the whole shop's been busy. It's been heaving. It's been good.
That's
no
brilliant.
complaints. But that's what made it such a stark and obvious difference when we started to feel the effects of this virus kicking in. Like me, for example, I'm booked up way in advance. Don't often get very many cancellations because most of my clientele are regulars. People have tattooed for a long time, so they don't often cancel on me. I think the previous week before we were shut down, I had 4 cancellations in 2 days, which is totally unheard of. You just don't get it.
Yeah.
All of them were understandable. All their good reasons. It was nothing I could blame them for. It's just that was like, right, okay, here's the wake up call. Here's where things are gonna. The proverbial's going to hit the fan, if you like,
100%. Yeah.
If anything, it was more of a relief for us when the government took it out of our hands and said, right, call it a day for now. So it was a bit sort of bittersweet.
Yeah, of course. And I mean, how did so you being at the helm there? Did you give a message to the staff? Was it a bit more like, guys? How did that go down?
Well, the thing was, it's a funny one. I really hate calling myself the boss. I don't like that as a thing, because I like to be able to trust the guys that work. Because the reality is, the guys don't work for me. They're self-employed.
They work with you.
They work with me. That's the idea of it. Both the guys that tattooed for me, I taught them to tattoo. They was my apprentices. So they stuck with me. So they know how it works. I trust them implicitly. I'd be quite happy to not go to the shop for 6 months and know that it would carry on running how I wanted it to run. So we were really sort of in tune and talking and having conversations about all what was happening leading up to it. And we'd made the decision to close of our own accord. The same day the announcement was made that we was going to get closed, and we literally put an announcement on our Facebook at like 7:45. Yeah. And then at 7:30, the announcement came down anyway. So it was irrelevant, really. But we'd already between us, we discussed it. It was probably the right thing to do, and that's what we did in the end. But yeah, we're all on the same page, which is nice. We've known each other for long enough now that we sort of know how each other's minds works, and it was all sort of good.
I mean, having that kind of like everyone's got your back mentality, that's from a business standpoint, that's great. I mean, the uncertainty is probably not so great for you at the moment mentally. I know for me it's not. But what's it like? What's it like being fully battened down in the house?
I'm not good at it. Like, The honest truth is, I'm not missing work because
No, yeah.
it gets in the way of other stuff you want to do in life, and
Yeah,
that's reality. I'm not missing work. I'm missing just life. Life outside the house. I'm not good at it on a day-to-day basis, regardless of being sort of forced to be locked down. If I've got to stay in for a day, usually for whatever it is, I'm not good at it. I climb the walls.
Yeah.
I like being outside. I like doing things, so it's hard for me to sort of be confined within four walls. So if I ever went to prison, I'd be mental within 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But so that's difficult for me. But I have to say, the longer it's going on, I thought the longer it would go on, the worse it would get. But the longer it goes on, I've sort of given myself a routine, found other things that I enjoy doing within the house, and it's sort of evening out, and it's given me a different sort of mindset to being inside, which is cool actually, because even after all this is all done, I'll have a different mindset about being not locked in, but being indoors rather than being out and doing things.
I mean, we're all going to have huge take homes from this. Just the appreciation of camaraderie and being around people, and eerily enough, I have to keep every now and then going back to the gym and opening up and grabbing bits, coming back, and it's a bit of a surreal environment to be in when it's the middle of the day and there's nothing going on. And I can imagine if you had to do the same, it'd be very kind of strange.
Yeah,
what are you doing to keep yourself occupied?
I found a love for baking, which I didn't know I had.
I kind of led you into this, to be honest.
All right, okay. Yeah. I always knew I enjoyed cooking, right? And I do love cooking, but I hate being rushed with anything. So on a day-to-day basis where I'm working all day and then I'm coming home, I can't be bothered to spend ages cooking.
No.
No, I'm just not good at it. So usually it's something quick. And if I'm doing something quick and it's just for the sake of just eating, I've got no love for it. But when I've got time and I've got, sort of personal goals I can set myself, I love it, because I can actually, I can look to it. That's always been me. I'm so competitive, and I'm competitive with myself as well. So I do something and I want to improve on it. So, I mean, Charlotte's watched me, numerous occasions over this past week, researching on Google. How do I, why is my bread not rising enough? And then next time I'm trying to change something about what I've done to get what I want from it. So it's cool because it's given me like little personal targets and goals that are keeping my mind active. And I've not really eaten much of the stuff I've baked. It's more the actual doing it. Yeah, exactly. I mean, the kids, they're like locusts, aren't they? You know what kids are like. Nothing lasts long, but it just gives me something physically to do, which is good for my mind, and B, it's a challenge of something new that I've never really done, so it's keeping my mind active that way as well.
So, can we expect Low Tide to have its own little donut or fairy cake section? I think that'd be a fantastic thing to add.
The interesting thing was my shop before I had it was a cake shop.
Was it?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't. It was a cake shop, and there was other things going on that shouldn't have been going on. But the cake shop was the front for everything else. Nothing to do with me. I might add that it was way before I got involved.
Yeah.
No, the minute you take something you enjoy and make a business out of it, it changes it completely. For me, I enjoy baking. It's because I've got time to do it. If I had to do it under pressure for commercial reasons, I wouldn't enjoy it. So it's nice for me to do it on a small scale at home, but I wouldn't do something like that commercially.
Maybe the occasional fairy cake for some of your favourite customers, and that's it then. That's it.
I might apply for
Bake-Off. I heard a scone.
Yeah. But honestly, I might apply for a Bake-Off next year, see if I can get on.
Do it. Oh, that'd be yeah.
Yeah.
To be honest, well, I've taken up a bit. I cook quite a lot anyway, but mostly prep stuff, So it's just like mass-produced, very basic, boring food, constantly over and over. And then after, sorry, I've just been lobbed something. After that, and having this amount of time, I thought, you know what, I could probably batch cook a lot more stuff and really enjoy it on a grander scale. And to kind of put my money where my mouth was, I've started a little online show on our Facebook page.
I've seen it. I've watched it.
I've called it the recipe of Mr. E.
Yeah.
I play classical music, or wear a captain's hat and wear a stupid
That's brilliant.
shirt every single time, just because. Well, why not? And
because why not? You haven't got to have a reason. Just why not?
I've got a selection of terrible shirts, or as I like to call them, shirts. And why not? Just why not?
Well, we're not leaving the house. You've got to have a reason to wear them. You've got to give yourself a reason to wear them.
Exactly. So I completely get that. But if you can find the perfect pizza-based recipe, I'll be forever in your debt, because mine are always really great crusts, terrible base. So that's the next thing for me.
That's my homework then, yeah?
That is the homework. I don't know whether I need to bake the base for a bit and then go, but anyway. So, you're a man that likes to be outside.
Mm-hmm.
I've got intel on you anyway. I'm not going to lie, I've done my research, and I know you're big into, huge into your fishing.
Yeah.
Where's your head at when it comes to that right now, not being sat around the lake?
It is killing me. Killing me. If I don't, I genuinely go fishing at least once a week, at least. And that's a whole day, from sun up till sundown. Once a week, religiously. And the thought of not knowing when I could go next makes my skin itch. It's an addiction. And I'm fully prepared to admit it's a total addiction. So the thought of not knowing when I can go next is really killing me. But there's things I've sort of been doing at home to try and fill that void a little bit. I was teaching the kids to cast in the living room the other day. It was casting little lures into a teapot on the other side of the room,
Yeah. And you can do that? Just get them in?
Yeah. Yeah, it took me more goes than it took my girl. She done it in about 6 goes. It took me about 50. So it's cool, and it kept them doing something different rather than just sitting in front of the telly vegetating or doing the same thing over and over again. It was something different for them, so it broke up the day that way. And there's loads of things I aside from the tattooing, the fishing thing is probably just as big in my life as tattooing. So I've been doing my own sort of live streams on my fishing channels and things like that, talking about the lures and stuff and equipment I use. And
it's not a hobby for you, it's a passion, isn't it? It's not a hobby.
100%. Yeah, for sure. I don't know where you draw the line between a hobby and a passion, but for me it's all consuming. It's sort of like family, work and fishing, sort of a bit like that, So it's hard to find that balance for me, and I have struggled with that massively, properly in the past, like trying to balance my work and my fishing. But it's all, and it's been a part of my life since as long as I can remember, literally as long as I can remember, since I was before I could walk. Fishing was a thing, So but it's hard. It is hard being indoors. But I know that I've seen a lot of things on Facebook, people trying to get around the rules. It's exercise. You can do this. You can do that. The reality of it is, it's non-essential. So I'm trying to do my bit.
Yeah, you are.
And if me and the addiction I have for fishing can control it and stay indoors, everybody should be.
Yeah. I think you're right. There's no point in risking it.
No.
Even if you are spread apart, there's no point in risking it.
No. Yeah.
But hey, maybe eventually you have your own fishing lake one day, which you can just live next to.
That's the goal, mate. That's the goal. That I wouldn't even have to leave the house, pretty much.
Just cast off of your back garden. That's it.
Yeah. Get Charlotte make me a cup of coffee, and she can just pass it out the back window. That's the way.
There you go. So what's the household like at the moment? So if you've got, just for people watching, are the kids excited? Are you what's the feel at the moment?
So for those who don't know, I've got 3 kids, and they're all pretty similar in age. I think they're 8, 6, and 4. So they generally they get on really well. They play really well, but they're very different in personalities. Alfred, my oldest, he'd be quite happy to sit in front of his Xbox until Armageddon. He'd just sit there forever. Whereas Constance, my middle one, the girl, she is so active and so energetic. She's running around the house, bouncing off the walls. And then the littlest one, Reginald, he does a bit of both. Sometimes he's quite happy to sit down and just watch telly, and the other times he wants attention. He wants picking up and chucking around and playing. So it's sort of finding a balance between them and finding something that you can get all three of them involved with, or finding the balance in the day to do something with each of them individually. So like sometimes I want me to sit with him and watch him play Minecraft for half hour, or constantly want me to help with gymnastics and doing cartwheels around the living room. So it's sort of finding that balance between them and keeping them all happy. But they're all pretty good. Like I really, I know people joke and moan about the kids and things, and I do it as well, like gits and this and that. But they honestly they do well. Like they don't need a little telling off in the year every now and again, but they look after themselves really well and look after each other as well, which is the better
nice
thing.
To see, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So but I mean, day to day, it's hard to keep things varied, but it's just sort of ticking over, and we're just sort of doing it because we know we have to, and it's not really much of an issue at the moment. But we're only a week in.
I know. Yeah. I mean, the main thing is we live in a generation now where everybody uses time as the factor they can't do anything.
Yeah.
And we're never going to get this opportunity, like ever again. Excuse me. We're never, ever, ever going to get this opportunity ever again, where we're going to have this much time to focus A, on ourselves, or B, with our kids, which is something that's hitting hard with me. But at the same time, I'm sitting there thinking, how hard do people need to be on themselves? Just live in the moment. I think that's probably the biggest take home I'm getting from this at the moment, is just take some time to do nothing.
Yeah, it's a funny one for me because I've lived by that moniker for quite a while now. That sort of you're a long time dead, and as right or wrong as this is, I'm not that worried about money, money or sort of the want to be rich doesn't really do it for me. I'm more about experiences, and I sort of will do things at the detriment of earning money, and that's probably the wrong thing to do. But I think like I'd rather do these things and have that experience and enjoyment than have another 50 quid in my pocket or whatever.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I sort of yeah. Do you know what I mean? I just feel like you're right. It's a opportunity for us to sort of experience this and use it. And I know a lot of people are stressing about the money thing, but just I think more importantly, just try and make of what's going on. Make a positive out of it, rather than sort of taking on negatives. Money's money. Do you know what I mean? If I'm not earning money, my bills don't get paid. Tough. Do you know what I mean? I'm not that worried about it. They can't get blood from a stone. Everyone's in the same position.
Exactly.
I'm not that stressed about it. As long as I've got enough money to put food on the table and a bit of this, bit of that. Everything else is secondary. I'm not really that worried about it.
I think, you've hit the nail on the head there. They can't evict England.
No.
They can't evict Britain, can they? So, I think they've probably got their head around that. To be honest, my closing question was, what take homes could you give people? But I think you've pretty much hit the nail on the head right there. I love the fact that the experience is more what you're going through here as well. And I've been, up until recently, that's what I've been living my life by as well, as opposed to buying anything. I've been trying to invest as much as I can in experience, to be honest, mostly with me and the missus, because me and the kids, we can all, me, the wife and the kids, we can probably have the same experience as we would in the woods at the end of the road as we would in the leading forests of I don't know, in France, in Italy.
I know me and Charlotte have often said that. We see people, jet setting around the world like with young kids, and I think you'd have the same experience. Those kids don't care where you're going. They don't care. You could be in a caravan in Clacton, and the kids would have as good a time. And we're not on holidays or anything like that. So we're quite happy just spending time with each other, and wherever that may be is sort of secondary.
Well, you've hit the nail on the head for me, mate. I'd say for all dads out there that are going through what you're going through right now, what's the one bit of advice you think you could give them right now? I'll put you on the spot.
Yeah, okay. Make the most of it. Like I know I've already said it, but turn this negative into a positive. learn your kids, because and the reality of it is a lot of dads are busy working men and are out there and they're doing their best for the family in other ways. Now you've got an opportunity. You haven't got a choice. You've got to be home. Put some time into your kids like now, and it will pay off in the long run, because those kids remember it. They've got good memories, kids. And if you really, really, really put some time into them now, they'll appreciate that for a lot longer than you going out and earning a paycheck.
I love that, mate. I think we're pretty happy to conclude there. So for you guys, thank you very much for watching. I've taken a massive take home from that. I don't know whether you guys have. Charlie, thank you very much for your time, mate. Although I suppose it is it's the only thing you do have at the moment is a shed load of time. But thank you very much for giving up some of it. And for more of these guys, please just have a little look on our channel. And we're going to have a few more just everyday people being interviewed and telling us their story. So thanks again.